Is Pete Rose better than Ty Cobb was? Are the ball players of today as good or better than the ball players of the 20s and 30s? These questions can be answered, but certain adjustments must be made. After all, the National League batting average in 1930 was a robust .303, while in 1984 it was a measly .255. Sabermetricians Bill James, author of the Baseball Abstract, and Dallas Adams explain the differences.
I think that the biggest one factor is ballpark design. The players in the 20s played in generally small ballparks with excellent visibility in day games, and I'm quite sure that if you took the hitters and pitchers of today and put them in the same circumstances, you'd get very high totals. Dallas might have a different opinion.
I agree with Bill's answer in part. One of the big things you have to adjust for is the frequency of errors, which increases dramatically as you go back in time. In the early years of professional baseball, errors were much more frequent than they are today. Rocky surfaces, small gloves, lumpy baseballs. Now, night ball and transcontinental travel fatigue, relief pitchers, larger fielders' gloves. At given times, the batters are going to be better than the pitchers, and that will hold up for a few years. A few years later, there will be more good pitchers than good batters, and so runs scored will go down a little bit. I made a graph one time of average runs scored in each game over the last 80 years, and there are kind of waves involved. I see it as being a combination of factors.
Well, how about 1985? Are the pitchers better than the batters right now?
Off my graphs, if one looks ahead a few years, I see runs scored totals going down for the next 4 or 5 years, perhaps. It's hard to pick a bottom, but I see them going down for the next few years and then swinging up again about 1990.
We are probably at a turning point right about now. I think Dallas alluded to that. But at any given moment, it's hard to know what direction you're moving in. It's much easier to know in 2 or 3 years. But it appears that the period 69 to about 82 was a period of increased hitting, but it's probably leveled off since then.
With sabermetricians Bill James, author of the annual bestseller The Baseball Abstract, and Dallas Adams, statistical expert, I'm Specialist Tracy Thibeau, AFN Sports.